Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. A Rollins man killed in a snowboarding accident near Lakeside was set to stand trial in Flathead County for rape. 22-year-old Connor Heidegger of Rollins was set to stand trial later this month on a felony rape charge. According to court documents, the incident happened in Big Fork last August. Heidegger was accused of entering a home there and raping a woman. He was out on $100,000 bail when he was killed Saturday attempting to jump off a cliff while snowboarding out of bounds near Lakeside. Heidegger's trial has been set for January 22nd and was expected to last 5 days. After a snowboarder died last Saturday, we spoke with Whitefish Mountain Resort Ski Patrol to talk about how the hazards there and the tree wells that were present. Tree wells form when an area gets a lot of dry, loose, unconsolidated snow that forms at the bases of the trees. Whitefish Mountain Resort Assistant Ski Patrol Manager Jeff Soyland says that they are probably one of the more underestimated hazards of skiing in the trees, and the best way to avoid them is to simply ski on groomed runs only. However, people won't just stop skiing the trees, and Soyland says that the best way to avoid danger is by using the buddy system.
That's oftentimes where some of the best powder is in the trees. So some things to think about is use the buddy system. Try to keep your partners in sight, be there to aid them, and then they will be there to help you if you get into trouble.
And we'll have a full report on this coming up tonight at 10. Icy sidewalks, walkways, and parking lots have been the cause of a number of injuries in recent days. It's tough to know what conditions are like under fresh snow and even the spots that have been plowed. Community Medical Center physical therapist Mary Thane said that there are several ways to help prevent falls or at least lessen the odds. Yak tracks can be worn over the bottom of your shoes using a walking stick with an ice pick attached, and spreading sand or kitty litter in front of you as you walk are all helpful ways to avoid a big fall. If those options aren't available, you can still help yourself.
Walking with a wider base of support, shorter steps, almost like a duck walk when you're walking. On the icy conditions, you just have to be more alert, just like you are in your car. Almost a hypervigilance of watching your area around you.
And Thane adds that it is also important to avoid dual tasks when walking in icy conditions, including talking or texting on a phone. And a little bit of light snow was seen through the region today, but we should be seeing more as we head into the weekend. For more, let's turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost, who has a look at our first forecast. Aaron.
Yeah, and perhaps some rain mixed in with that as well. It is anticipated to see, for us, some temperatures warming into the low and mid 30s come this upcoming weekend. At the same time, a Pacific system moving in. So we will see precip. It's just the form of it a little unclear right now. And there is, as I mentioned, the potential for a mix. Right now, though, dealing with the clouds across northwest Montana. A lot of that snow from earlier today now moving into extreme southwest and south central Montana. A little bit of a clearing is expected overnight tonight into some of the day tomorrow. I'm expecting pretty quiet Thursday with temperatures topping out for us in Kalispel in the low 20s. The extended forecast and more details on that next system coming up.
All right, thanks, Aaron. A final proposal for new Kalispel Elementary boundary lines could get the green light next week. The Kalispel School Board is set to vote on a final proposal next Tuesday during the regular school board meeting. The new boundaries are needed to accommodate the district's 6th elementary school, Rankin Elementary, currently under construction on Airport Road. The district began to draw input from 3 public forums back in October on various plans. Superintendent Mark Flateau says that they took everyone's comments into consideration before crafting the final proposal, which received the most support.
We know that there's not going to be a perfect plan in moving from 5 elementary enrollment areas to 6, but we think that this has addressed the bulk, certainly the more significant concerns that were mentioned on multiple occasions by folks.
And the last time the district redrew boundaries was in 1987 when Edgerton was completed on Whitefish Stage Road. The 2017 Missoula Food Bank Food Holiday Food Drive has officially wrapped up, and it was a banner year. In all, over $230,000 was raised and more than 75,000 pounds of food was collected, which tops the all-time fundraising record. This drive is key for the success of the 2018 calendar year, and Missoula Food Bank Executive Director Aaron Brock says with a new, much larger facility, they are seeing more people than ever, and he appreciates having a community that always steps up.
I think that our new facility has opened some new programs for us. We're doing more than we ever have before. And we have some folks who really responded and who who've given so generously. This community has just stepped forward over and over again and made it clear that no one should go to bed hungry.
And Brock adds that he is thankful for the nearly 7,000 pounds of food raised by KAJ-TV, and we would like to thank the community for your donations. Congress is slowly getting back to work after their Christmas recess. The Senate returned today with the swearing in of 2 new members, but before Republicans can tackle their 2018 legislative agenda, lawmakers come back to Washington facing a looming government shutdown and a controversial immigration vote. Mo Lenghi reports from Capitol Hill.
Please raise your right hands.
Vice President Mike Pence swore in the U.S. Senate's 2 newest members today, Doug Jones of Alabama and Tina Smith of Minnesota, both Democrats.
I think being a good senator is a bipartisan issue. That's what I want to do.
After seeing their Senate majority slip to 51, Republicans will look to win over Jones and other centrist Democrats on some key issues this year that will require 60 votes to pass. President Trump has indicated infrastructure will likely be his top legislative priority. But first, Congress will have to agree on a spending bill to avoid a government shutdown by January 19th. A top priority for congressional Republicans is to raise the cap on military spending.
Since fiscal year 2013, defense cuts have outpaced domestic spending cuts by $85 billion.
But what may prove divisive is a fix to DACA, the program that protects illegal immigrants brought to the U.S. as children.
There is no DACA without funding for the wall.
House and Senate leaders met today to consider a way forward.
An absurdly expensive, ineffective border wall.
But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said funding a border wall is a non-starter for Democrats. Complicating matters, it's an election year, and Democrats see a few opportunities to pick up some congressional seats with several Republicans retiring. Orrin Hatch now joins fellow Republican Senators Jeff Flake and Bob Corker, who will retire after their current terms. Multiple sources tell CBS News they expect Mitt Romney to run for Senate. It's unclear if the White House would support Romney, who has been critical of President Trump. Mo Lenghi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And lawmakers also have to reauthorize Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, a key intelligence law, and renew financing for CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program, which provides care for nearly 9 million low-income children. Former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon is speaking out about the Trump White House and the Russia investigation as part of a new book which will be soon released. Weijia Zhang is at the White House with more details on what Bannon said and the president's personal response.
Steve Bannon didn't hold back while being interviewed by Michael Wolff for his new book on the Trump administration. In excerpts from Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, Bannon described a meeting at Trump Tower with a Russian lawyer as treasonous and unpatriotic. Donald Trump Jr., campaign chairman Paul Manafort, and Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and senior advisor, attended the meeting in June 2016. The Russian attorney claimed to have documents that would incriminate Hillary Clinton. Bannon said the 3 senior guys in the campaign thought it was a good idea to meet with a foreign government inside Trump Tower in the conference room on the 25th floor with no lawyers. They didn't have any lawyers. And he added they should have called the FBI immediately. Bannon also says there is 0 chance Donald Trump Jr. did not also escort the Russian lawyer to see his father.
Did the president meet any of Donald Trump Jr.'s guests at that June 2016 Trump Tower meeting on that day?
As the president has stated many times, no, and he wasn't part or aware of that.
Shortly after the excerpts were made public, President Trump issued a statement. He said when Bannon was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. The president wrote Bannon spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue, whom he helped write phony books. Bannon left his White House position in August 2017. At the time, White House officials said the decision was mutual. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
And Wolff's new book is scheduled to be released on January 9th. Coming up next, companies that recycle cardboard say that they are overwhelmed after a record-setting online holiday shopping season. How companies like Amazon are trying to cut down on the waste after the break.